Morning, and thank you for all coming. I'm the very first keynote speaker today. I've kind of always wondered, how do they rank these orders? Is it by age? Maybe height? Not really sure. Maybe best looking first? I don't know. Guess it doesn't really matter. However beautiful the strategy, you should occasionally look at the results. These words were spoken over 60 years ago when this planet was experiencing some of its very darkest days. The city of London, England, was literally being destroyed, building by building, by the Nazi war machine. Hundreds, even thousands of people were dying on a daily basis. And the total occupation of England herself was a very real threat. Winston Churchill spoke these words during World War II at a time where I think he absolutely knew that second place was simply not an option. Now today, it takes a lot more than just a good idea and a lot of hard work. As Churchill pointed out, you have to have a great strategy, and you have to have even greater results to go along with that strategy. So, it is certainly my thought that if we are going to compete as a unified supply chain, that we need to compete to win. We need to be the absolute best. Some of the intro slides showed that. China, Japan, everybody's out to eat our lunch. It doesn't have to be that way. So I've been asked to come here today and share with you a little of our strategy, our roadmap, if you will, and to also share some of our results. I'm extremely honored and happy to do that today. However, I'd like to just introduce you a little bit to Hixson, a little bit about who we are and what we do. Hixson Metal Finishing has been servicing the military, aerospace, and commercial aircraft industries for over 50 years now. We have approximately 45,000 square feet, and we're located in the always beautiful Newport Beach, Southern California area. We have approximately 120 employees, and we offer all type anodizing, as well as prime, plating, painting, non-destructive testing. We're literally have hundreds and hundreds of approvals from all the major primes, the tier ones, as well as the primes. And we're also an ADCAP certified in wet process, as well as NDT, and an FAA certified repair station. I want to talk a little bit about our growth over the last 4 and 5 years. We've had about a 50% growth from 2005 to 2009. And we're really no different than all of you. In 2007, late 2007, we certainly did see that some of our customers were starting to struggle. We started to see, literally, some of our customers actually going out of business. A lot of the programs were being slowed down. And one of our strategic plans and goals back then was we literally got together and we kind of just simplified things for ourselves. We just told ourselves, we're not going to participate. There is no reason for us to have to participate in this economic slowdown. There was still plenty of customers out there, though they might have had less orders, less parts, there was still plenty of customers that could satisfy the growth that a small little company in Newport Beach could handle. So I think you could tell by the graph, we kept true to our word. We did not partake in the economic slowdown, and we're certainly not going to entertain partaking in it in the future. 2010, we've grown the sales about another 9 to 10%, but we are very, very optimistic about 2011. We hear a lot of good things, and we've positioned ourselves where a lot of good tier one customers are talking to us and asking us to participate in their growth on some of the long-term platforms, the F-35s, certainly the unmanned aircrafts. So 2011 for us, we're very optimistic, and I think all you should be as well. Revenue per employee. This is one of those deals where you kind of measure your efficiency. In 2005, from 2005 to current, actually October of this year, we've grown revenue per employee by over 50%. Now, I do want to tell you something. How we did not grow revenue per employee is with price increases. We've done a 50% increase from 2005 today with essentially the basic pricing structure of 2005. So we all know price increases are not the way to build your business because they're not tolerated in this industry. You can do it without price increases. Hixson processes a whole lot of parts. We're obviously a very low mix, but at the same time, very high volume. Just about 8.5 million parts in 2009, and we anticipate about 9.5 million parts in 2010. So that's a lot of volume. It's about 120, 130 actual orders per day, and we basically run the company around the clock, 24 hours a day, 5 and 6 days a week. This is what we like to call the lie in our industry, more or less the processing industry. This chart kind of shows the number of parts processed and the turn times. And as you can see, in 2007, things were starting to go up and up. We were one of those companies that said, and here's the lie, the busier and busier we get, the more work you send us, God forbid, right? The slower and slower we go. Well, I just got to tell you, if that's what your processor's telling you, that's what your heat treater's telling you, you got the wrong guy, because it doesn't have to be that way. We looked at this problem. We were increasing sales. We were increasing volume. And guess what? The turn times were going right along with it. We knew that was a recipe for disaster. We did some strategic planning. We put some things in place, some visibility, and certainly some reliability in our systems. And then around 2008, we got on this lean roadmap, and we really started to accelerate. So as you can see, as the volume is going up, our turn times are actually staying the same. In fact, they're getting a little bit better. What this graph does not show you, though, is because of some of the systems we put in place, we can handle more complex parts, very complex masking, even down to the level of doing some engineering. So the amount of processes per order, the complexity per order, has increased dramatically, while at the same time volume is going up 10, 20% a year, plus we're taking the turn times and keeping them the same or reducing them. So that's the lie in our industry, and you don't have to believe it. That's what I'm telling you. On-time delivery, you can see the steady growth. We came from 2005 to 2009, and it just continually improving our on-time delivery. We get it. We understand on-time delivery is crucial to all to you, and for us to take care of that supply chain, we need to make sure we're part of that. Parts per million defect, again, we're working on that on a daily basis. Obviously, the goal is 0, and we're driving that down every single day. So, a little overview. From 2009 to 2010, we've actually reduced the number of PPM approximately 32%. We have about a 42% reduction in rework dollars spent, a 14.5% improvement in the inventory turns, a near 12% increase in sales per employee. We're currently at 99.4% on-time delivery, and we are the very first processor to receive our Stage 1 C certification. Certification. Whoa. What was in that tea this morning? Okay, some financial improvements. Here's where the money goes. Our sales are up about 7.1% current 2009 versus 2010. Gross profits are up 16%. Net operating income, almost 22%. And net income is almost 21% versus 2009. Just remember, 2008 was better than 2007. 2009 was better than 2008. Some of the intangible improvements. We attract better employees. Just no two ways about it. People want to come to work for us. Our turnover rate is virtually 0, and we have the best morale we've ever had. And another intangible, we've reduced our aspirin consumption by 86%. So we saved some money on aspirin. I like Advil, actually. A little summary. We've improved our efficiencies, our financials, our delivery, our quality, our customer service, and in fact, because of our Kaizen events and what we call a standard of appearance. We walk through the plant and look for things. We've actually reduced our workers' comp case by over 20% in the last 3 years. So that's a good bonus. How did we do all this? Well, we took the complex and made it simple. And if you look at any business, you can kind of break it down to 3 components. You have your mindset, your culture, your leadership. You have your systems. These are the systems that support you, your computer systems, as well as visual workspaces. That's the operational side that Marzel was talking about. And you have your people. That's your workforce development. Basically, we all know that people are the heart and soul of our companies. If we do it right here, and this is the hardest part of this lean journey, but if we do it right here, that's where you get huge, huge rewards. So that's creating ownership. That's creating frontline people to take control, looking at dashboards and having their own meetings. That's a very, very key, important part of the lean roadmap. They asked us a little bit. We were honored with the Stephen E. Barton Award for Leadership and Culture last year. So they wanted us to focus a little bit on leadership and culture, because I think we do know a little bit about that. This is the mindset. This is the framework. This is where you build your foundation for your company, and this is what sets the ground rules, literally, for how you're going to go forward. If you don't do this first, you can't go on to the operational excellence. You can't go on to workforce development, standard work, and those type of things. So you got to spend a lot of time here, and you've got to get your frontline managers, your executive staff to buy into this, to understand it. But this is really where you set your tool bag, if you will. Put all the tools in the tool bag. Make sure you have things that you can address common languages. So when you go out on the shop floor and you say something standard work, you don't get that look in their eyes like, standard what? We don't know what you're talking about. It's all done here. So it's critical. The culture and the leadership happens first, and then you take that and you build upon that. So that's basically our roadmap. The fun stuff now. Racing. I want to leave with, in closing today, I want to leave you with maybe a little thought and maybe a little challenge. I'm not really sure about anybody in this room, but I just love cars. I love automobiles. It's just something about their excitement, their power, their speed, complexity. So I've been around cars all my life and around some amateur racing. And there's something that I noticed, other than this thing squeaking all the time. There's something that I've noticed about the winners, the consistent winners. They do things that the other guys don't do. They absolutely do. Take a look at this photo for just a minute. And by the way, I love this photo. This is like my very favorite photo of all times. But take a look, for instance, look at where this driver's head is looking. Now, there's a professional race car driver. He's flying down the backstretch at 160 miles an hour. And in fact, I did the math on that, and if I did it correctly, that's just short of the speed of light. Right? No? All right, give or take a couple 100 billion miles an hour, it's really fast. Okay? So this guy's barreling down the backstretch, and he's not even looking at where he's going. This guy's insane, right? Speed of light, not looking where you're going. Well, in fact, what he is doing, he is looking off the right side of the car, and he is looking at the next corner. He's looking at the next corner. So that's my point to you all today, is these professional drivers, they do not look at where they're going. Instead, they look at and they focus on where they want to be. And then they merely bring their bodies and their minds along with them. So my takeaway to you is, you need to stop looking at where you're going, because the chances are you guys were there yesterday and the day before and the day before. There's really no future in it. I implore you to start looking and focusing yourselves and your companies and your employees to where you want to be. Maybe, just maybe more importantly, where you need to be. Because I can tell you, I have, and it absolutely 100% works. Thank you.